And we are now absolutely, positively live.
Oh my.
Sweet.
Sorry, everyone.
Hello,
Not really.
everybody.
Apologies. Yeah.
Welcome to the stream. We're doing something a little bit different again. We are playing the second playtest of the game system I'm working on, Anvea. And tonight we're doing a little bit higher level gameplay. Last time it was just basic character creation, level 0 stuff, no abilities other than what your race has, and then just a little simple adventure. This time, everyone's got some feats, some more skills, some spells, and they're going to be going through a dungeon, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I guess let's go around and remind everyone who we are, maybe say a feat that you picked up that's fun. Chuck, what are you playing as?
Gosh, I am continuing the journey of Kozel the Dazed, the Leshy druid kind of dude. And I kind of picked up some shape-shifting stuff and some spell-casting stuff. So I'm going hard towards druid. Little Leshy marijuana druid. It's going to be fantastic.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, Jake.
Well, I'll be playing Osmond the Giant, who is a half giant. I upgraded his rock from a bashing weapon to a throwing weapon, and I gave him the pugilist feat so that he can attack with his rock-like fists.
Great.
Nice.
That works.
It's gonna rock people like a hurricane.
Indeed.
All right, and then Dan.
Hey, everybody, I'm playing Elf Ranger number 7 still. He's gonna continue rangering on. I think he's also the designated ride of Kozel in most circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I picked up some rogue-like things, including Rogue, Arbalist, and Point Blank. So I should shoot things. Maybe okay.
That works.
Just maybe. You know,
All
it's
right.
my dice after all, so I need all the help I can get.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's a new system entirely, but I'm sure dice will still do what they do for Dan.
Yes. This
Yeah,
is the expectation.
Yeah.
It's a consistent. But yeah, so some time has passed since the last little adventure you guys went on, and you received a message from Melia of Takobel. It's been a while. You guys have been out adventuring. You've picked up some new abilities, some new spells and feats and all that. And you get this message from her saying that there's like a strange dungeon entrance that's been discovered in one of the trenches near the town. She wants to know if there's anything dangerous that might come out of it, and thought to reach out to you guys first and see if you could come back and help her out. So
After we go in, something dangerous will come out. It's us.
Yeah, man. Like, we are the danger.
yeah.
I am the one who knocks on people's faces.
Yeah, man.
That works. All right. So yeah, that's where we're going to start, is just right there, right at the front. So again, the setting we're playing in for this is the dual planes, which is the aftermath of the party's nuclear magic bomb being dropped on the continent of Runcia. And it kind of tore up all these underground caverns and things and made these like 2 layers of plains. And some of them are kind of like trenches, some are these super wide spreads, but everyone refers to it as the dual plains because it's 2 plains. Yeah.
Moderate oops.
A little bit.
Shit
yeah,
happens, right?
Only killed like, tens of thousands of people from the initial explosion, and then maybe tens of thousands more from the irradiation of the magic stuff seeping into the world, and then tens of thousands more from the war that was sprung by that, because the people underneath the surface thought that was an act of war and retaliated as such. So, just some
Moderate oops. Yeah.
moderate oops, But that's a normal oops for an end of a campaign.
Yeah.
But so you guys are in one of these trenches that kind of connects to where Tacobal sits up, and you found a path that weaved down into it, and it's on a day that's particularly more clear. Sometimes these trenches kind of get full of fog and things, but you're able to see pretty well. And every so often, these trenches have these like really narrow fissure cracks in them, and you see down in one of these, there's like this small bridge that spans one of the gaps, and in the side of one of these walls is just these giant sets of double doors, and you stand outside that.
Oh man, if we're like standing in front of doors, we should have the one who knocks give a knock.
Yeah.
I will give it a stiff knock.
Oh man.
All right. You walk up and pound your fist against it as a knock. And as you do, you don't really hear like any reverberation or anything, but as you hit it, there's some like rubble and kind of loose things fall about, and you see that the door's kind of moved in a little bit, but hasn't opened.
I keep knocking, I guess. It appears to be working.
Yeah, I'll just I'll knock with my shoulder this time.
All right. Give me a force test.
All right.
Just like in that one show. Got to knock a little harder.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be your brawn, your force skill, and this would be a force Warren.
Ooh, so I get to add nothing. I don't have any Warren related skills. So yeah, 76.
All right.
Success.
That's enough. So you throw your shoulder into it, and the door unsticks, and you send one of the double doors springing open, kind of hits the wall a little bit and moves back, but you've opened it. As you walk in, there's kind of this long, super narrow tunnel. It's very high, but it's pretty narrow. Goes for about 50 feet before it starts going down. And it is pitch black as soon as it starts going down. So
Jeez.
does anybody have like a spell or anything that they would do for
Yeah,
light?
man. I have
good.
that one fucking spell.
Someone came prepared.
Clarity. So I'll go ahead and like illuminate my stick.
Okay.
And like we got
And
light
give me
now.
Sweet. Give me a test for that, and we'll see if you get any like extra effect out of that.
All right, so it's wisdom and 1 point clarity, so 6 dice.
Yep. And then this would be Warren if you have that as well.
I do not. I don't think I do. No, I've got nature and arcane.
Most of these will be Warren.
Well,
But,
just stop asking that question, Joe, because we don't have it.
We sure don't.
Hey, Bert.
that's fine. There'll be some other stuff that's not. But so you don't get any extra effect, but you are able to just summon the single light source.
Nice.
Another thing though with this game, most mundane equipment's just assumed that your characters have it. So if you don't explicitly pack a torch, no adventurer leaves without a torch, no adventurer leaves without rope, all that type of stuff is just kind of hand waved. It's only when you have like a thing that you're trying to do with them that's beyond like just, you do it, then you have to do a roll. So
Okay.
you
cool.
can each have a torch if you want, but you've got your little magic light source and it functions effectively as another torch for you.
All right. I pull my Glock out of my bag then. No?
We're
Okay.
not running this in like Detroit, so it's not assumed that you're but yeah. So
Pull out our guns with laser sights and flashlights.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you travel down. There's this staircase for a while, and after a little bit, this staircase, you see the walls of it kind of end, but you see the stairs continue down. And your light's just kind of doing this ring around you as you're walking. And as you pass where the wall ends, it opens up, and you're in this gigantic cavern. And there's some light that pokes through. There's like a few holes coming down, maybe from the surface or something. And you see this like cyan blue lake that kind of curves and weaves through around some of the rock formations that are in here. And that's a pretty familiar color for most of the rivers and lakes and things that have that are under the ground in this area are eliminated from all the residual magic of that nuke you guys set off about 600 years ago.
So you definitely swim these is what I'm hearing.
It's not as toxic as it used to be. It's had some time to cool down, but there's definitely stuff that kind of react with it. There's little bits of like bioluminescent life and things that live in them. So probably wouldn't want to drink it, but it wouldn't necessarily hurt you to like just wade through it or swim in it.
Okay.
Like yeah,
low chance for developing superpowers. I'm taking it.
Pretty low chance for that. More of a chance for getting some sort of like lung bacteria or something.
Yeah, that's bad.
But
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You fleshy dudes, you need your lungs. Like
I do. I need
but
them.
you get like magic cancer. So
Oh boy, it's like even worse.
it's
That's not a superpower.
magic cancer of the evocation school. So like shit's fucking blowing you up, man.
Hopefully it's conjuration so it can disappear.
Or, you know, like summon more tumor friends.
Oh no, that's even worse.
Anyway, so yeah, what do we see beyond
yeah.
this cool ass
So
river?
yeah, there's this river. It gives kind of like this underlit blue to the whole room. You see that you're going down these stairs. It's this pretty narrow staircase that comes down into what looks like a bunch of houses and things that have been carved out of the sides of the stone and the walls. You don't see any people. Looks pretty dilapidated, like no one's been here for a long time. But you also see there's lots of other places where there looks like there were other stone pathways, but none of them seem to be intact like the one that you're on. So you see there are other places maybe that they connected to the surface, but those have been rendered inaccessible just with time. But yeah, you come down and you find yourself kind of standing in the center of this like little stone town. At the very far end of the room, you kind of see the streets wind along the rock wall, and you see that it ends on this giant, almost temple-looking thing that's carved on one side, and it's also got this big grand entrance. It's kind of hard to see from where you're at with since you've got pretty limited light, but you can kind of tell that it looks like there's two gigantic stone doors that have some like makeshift wooden panels and bars that have been like tacked into them.
You know, if we're looking for dangerous shit, like it's probably behind the door that someone took the time to barricade. Like,
Yeah, that's where I'd put dangerous things.
that's where I put all my dangerous shit.
Seeing as we're dangerous also, let's get behind those doors.
Oh man. Yeah, that might be our new home.
All right. You start walking through the streets of this town.
Do we want me
And
to
as you
scout
do-
up a little bit or something? Sorry, I might be
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. If you want to do like a scout or observe or anything, just call it out.
okay because I got conceal, so maybe I can be a little sneaky.
All right. Yeah. Give me a conceal. This would either be Warren or Urban.
Dang, I have these.
Actually, no, this would be Desolate. Sorry, because it's abandoned.
Oh, I got that one.
Yeah.
So
So
let's see here.
Warren, Desolate.
And how many points do we just get one from it being the right?
Yeah, you get 1d6 from your context.
Okay. good. I needed every last
Sweet.
one of them.
You got one success. So you feel effectively stealthed and you're kind of slinking along, avoiding any of those little spots of light, staying out of places where shadows or staying in the shadows that are cast from like the water reflecting up. I'm assuming you're kind of like slinking ahead of the group a little bit.
Yeah,
just as a
if we're
scout.
going like towards doors, I mostly just staying like kind of just a little in front of them, like checking alleys and the cross sections and stuff like that.
Okay. So you would be the first to see that as you're walking through. You weave through these buildings a little bit and it opens up to what kind of looks like maybe a forum or like a marketplace. And you see lots of dilapidated or broken down stalls and things. But you do see what looks to be a figure with a little bit of a spectry glow to them that's just kind of hovering on the ground back and forth aimlessly. He's kind of hunched down a little bit and he's got his hands out in front of him. And he seems to be like looking around and you hear like some soft muttering kind of echoing from him.
If I take a second to just kind of like listen carefully, would I be able to try and make it out? Or
yeah, give me an observe test. We'll see how
is
well
it
works
still
out for you.
desolate?
Yes.
Hooray! Hooray! My
Hey, there you go.
That worked.
So you're able to pick up on him without breaking your concealment. And you hear him, he seems to be muttering something about like, I gotta get my stall ready, it's market day, festival day. And he's just repeating words like that about a market, about a festival, about his stall, about his product. And he's just on a loop. And he seems to be just kind of drifting around. Every so often he'll almost like shimmer out and appear in like a different spot. He seems to be kind of contained to this market area.
Okay, just out of curiosity, I might kind of like throw like a rock somewhere kind of off in the opposite direction of him and see if he reacts to the sound in any way.
Okay. Yeah, you toss a rock and it lands and kind of tumbles into the marketplace. And he reacts to it by, he kind of like perks up and he looks down and he goes to grab the rock. And he's like, oh, there you are. And he picks it up and he brings it over to one of these dilapidated stalls and drops it.
Okay.
He's
I
a
guess
touchy
I'll
kind of ghost.
Yeah, I guess I'll go back to the party and talk about our new ghost friend.
Well, first off, man, we're going to call him Patrick.
Patrick.
I think that's
okay.
appropriate.
Apparently he can touch things.
Yeah, that's why we got to call him Patrick, man.
Yeah.
Well, if Patrick gets too angry, at the very least, we know that touch is an option. We can touch him horribly and repeatedly to the face.
You want me to go
That'll
talk
be
to him?
great.
Maybe we can like lure him in with some sort of like a pottery trap.
Just put him in a pot.
I mean, I could make that pot explode.
Maybe we just go talk to him.
Let's go
Well,
talk
you are
to
good
him.
at lighting pot up, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. Like, it's the only kind of cannibalism that I participate in.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
Yeah, man. It wasn't easy, but I did it. For better or worse,
All
but
right.
mostly worse.
So you run up there, Chuck, and you walk into the market wanting to talk to him. And as you walk into the marketplace, you trigger our first encounter. And so encounters in this game, I will never call them combat because I don't want this to be considered like, I don't want the way everything resolves to be combat when we're playing this. It's an encounter because you can talk to things, you can sneak by things, you can kill things, whatever, but it's encouraged to kind of decide however you want to do it because any test that you make successfully against an encounter works towards resolving it, not just damage. So our first encounter gets triggered as he notices you and he's like, oh, it's not ready yet. I don't have my stall, so I'm sorry if you're trying to buy something. But
No, man, it's cool. We're a new merchant too, man. Merchants. Where's your stall, man? Maybe we can set up next to you. You seem like okay.
yeah. I've been here for quite a long time. Most of the other merchants, guess they've moved on, so I got the best spot. And he seems very excited.
Nice, man. So, like, how'd you die?
Die? I'm not dead.
Well, like, okay, if that's how you want to identify, man, like, I'm not gonna fucking stop you and shit. But
How did you get to looking so cool?
have you seen your hand?
Yeah, it's
It's
just like
see-through,
they've
man.
always been.
Let me show you something, man. I'm gonna walk up
What's that?
and I'm gonna like grab at his hand.
Mhm.
Does my hand pass through his hand?
So you go to grab at his hand, and you feel like resistance, but it does pass through. And as your hands like kind of, how are you like? You trying to like high five him or?
No, like I'm just
hold
like
his-
reaching up, just like grabbing his hand because I presume he's taller than me. So yeah, just his
Yeah, a
hands
little
out
bit.
like
And he's
that.
kind
And
of
I'm just like,
hovering slightly. Okay, so you like reach out and try and like close around his hand. As you do that, you kind of like close. You feel slight resistance, and then there's almost like a pop as there's like, and his hand kind of puffs out, and he looks back at it, and it and fills back in. He's like, "Well, that's a little weird, but I don't know.
Is that maybe how
Guess
you've
I don't
always been?
remember.
so like,
Not that I can remember.
what happened to make all of the other merchants leave?
I don't know. They haven't been here for a few. Oh, they missed last year's festival, and the one before that, and the one before that. We haven't been getting very many like customers or anything. So maybe they thought there was a better place to go.
Just gonna throw it out here, man. Like, this place is like in ruins and stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're not really taking care of their stalls, so it's not the best. It's real great when everyone's like, here and all that.
Did you notice that there's no one else here?
Well, yeah, it's early. The festival's later today. Usually, people don't show up too early. You guys are the first.
No one at all. Like, does no one live here?
Well, I live here, and then the merchants lived here before they left.
Died.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they died. I don't think so. I'd hope not.
So what kind of cool shit's floating around here, man? And I mean that clearly as a reference to you floating because you're a ghost.
And sort of clear.
And clear, man. Like,
He's
fucking,
like, well,
yeah.
I personally sell peppers, and so that's what I've been trying to stock up. I forgot where I sent them, and I've been looking all over, but I need to get my stand set up, and he just starts kind of wandering off, and he's like, "You haven't seen them, have you?"
Your peppers? No, man.
I'll help him look for peppers.
All right.
Probably long gone peppers.
Yeah. Anyone who wants to help can do an observe or a find. Yeah, either observe or find test.
All right, I'll help with that too. I got 6 dice on it.
I got 2, so I'll help.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Didn't get in.
Okay.
Fucking
wow.
shit. Look at that. 2 dice
The
coming
benefits
through.
of being tall.
So, so both Dan and Chuck, you fail first. So, you go around and start searching, and Chuck, you like check one of these dilapidated stalls, and it kind of collapses on you a little bit, and you have to dig yourself out, and it deals you a 6 stress. Wow.
Good God.
6 physical stress.
What if I have less physical than I have the stress I take?
Then you take a fallout.
Well, I had 5 physical health and I took 6 stress.
All
So,
right.
This
Now
is a
you
really
still have
stressful pepper
0.
search.
It resets, but we're going to give you a nice little fallout.
This is the most
And
dangerous pepper hunt in the world.
man, I gotta tell you, man, some peppers are
see.
dangerous. Like, there's these little ding dong shaped peppers, man. They aren't spicy, but they're awfully embarrassing to take to family get togethers.
we're going to say you get stunned. So what happens on that is the next test you make is crippled, which is half of your dice, and then it clears.
All right.
So you're kind of just out of it until then. And yes, if you just want to put stunned as your fallout, check one of the boxes for that you have one fallout, and then say next test crippled, then clear. That will be yours. And then Jake, or actually, then Dan first, because
Yeah.
you also failed. You take 2 stress
Okay.
as you like uncover it and your hand gets like bit by a spider or
Splinters.
something.
Ah.
It scurries off. And then Jake, you stand there kind of in the center and you're not really looking too hard, but you look over and you see that there's this box of this like crate, and you see very old dried out peppers that are just kind of packed in there. And you think that's the one he's looking
Yeah,
for.
I'll pull the lid off the crate and just kind of carry it over like, I believe these are your peppers, sir.
All right. Give me a D6.
Oh boy. Is that the number of peppers that are still functional?
No, I
Not
can't
all these
do.
peppers.
Well, I can't do much with peppers, man. But if you gave me some pepper shakers, like, I knew a guy who could do some things.
All right. So you deal 3 damage against the encounter
Oh no.
as you find these peppers. It's like, oh, that's great. And then he takes them from you a little bit, and he almost drops them as like his hands take a bit to materialize around them. And as he carries them over to his stall, he plops them down where it should be, and they crash into like there's like this little tiny bit of a table still standing, and the weight of him dropping this crate on it just crumbles it, and it falls over to the ground.
What's the ground made of? Is it rock or packed dirt?
It's rock, but then it's got packed dirt, like kind of in the edges and things, but most of it's stone.
All right. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Okay. Yeah, he drops it and he looks all kind of upset at first, and oh, my stand, I don't know how it broke so easily, and he starts kind of like trying to put the
Don't
pieces
worry,
back
man.
together.
Like, I can fix that for you, man. I got your back. I'm going to use my evoke and that other fucking thing, earth.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm going to try and grow the stones underneath of it to form a new stone table.
All right. Give me that spell, but at crippled.
Yep. So that's going to be, normally I would get 6 dice for this.
Yep.
So I'm going to get 3 dice.
Mm-hmm.
I do my best work with small dice pools, man. So it's great. See?
And you still pull it off. So
yeah, man.
You're still kind of out of it a little bit, but you muster up your concentration for just enough, and this stone pillar kind of raises out of the ground and replaces the exact shape of where his table was before. And it even kind of like has the top of the board still on it as it like picks it up, and then his little crate sitting in the middle. And
cool.
Give me a D6. Or actually, what's your focus? Is it a D6 or D8?
It's the stick that I got initially, so it's still a D6.
Okay, just making sure. 6. That is enough to complete the encounter.
Oh shit, man! You're
You
ready
had
for
a threshold
business.
of 8. So with that, it's like, oh, it looks great, guys. And yeah, I guess I'll just wait here. And as he's talking and he's all excited about it, he slowly just starts fading out more and more and more.
We had questions,
And-
man.
And as you notice, though, so you notice that he starts kind of fading out. He's like, "Oh, sorry, what I was talking." And what's going on? He's like still slowly fading out.
You notice any
Like,
like
what were
fucked
you
up
saying?
dangerous shit around here, man?
It's like, "Oh yeah, we usually stay out of that." And he points towards the temple
Any cool
as
loot? No.
Well, we know where we need to go, like, and we helped him finish his unfinished business. So, like, are we Ghostbusters now, or we're like,
Yeah.
what was that other thing where like you can't pass on? Like, I don't know, man.
We're the Frighteners.
We're the Frighteners, man. That's it. Like, one of you is Michael J. Fox.
And as he puffs out of existence, you hear this small little like tick, tick, tick of sounds like a stone or something hitting the ground.
I'll take a look at where he was floating.
Yeah.
You see this small little cube of stone. It's got like weird marks on either side of it.
Oh. A fancy stone.
Hey, man, let me check it out. I can see like if it does stuff, man.
You
Take it. And I'll like put it in my mouth and bite on it for a second. No, man, it's just a rock.
it's definitely a rock. It's like almost a perfect cube. The edges of it are a little bit like rounded, but they all seem to be rounded in kind of the same way.
Oh, you can have it back. It's got like some of my like sap on it now.
It does.
Some of
Do
that
you want it?
resin, the
Or
sticky
otherwise we'll
icky,
just-
man.
I'll just put it in my pocket.
Put it in your pocket, man.
Okay.
And we'll
You can add
need
to
it
your
later.
inventory stone cube, and for the DX, just put a dash because certain items that are just completely negligible in size don't have a dice value. They may have a tag, but you don't know if it has any properties or anything. So
Okay.
It certainly doesn't
Yeah.
taste like anything fancy.
Maybe it's fun
Yeah.
to play with.
Could be some kind of
Yeah.
like weird sex toy.
Ah,
I don't know how you'd
It
use
could
it though.
be.
Like I don't
could be.
understand you fleshy bits. Like, cause like I get my like like my things going, and then she gets her like her flour ready, and like I just shake on it, and like the little pollen, and it like. Well, now you know how I fuck. So congratulations, man.
everything I wanted to know and less.
all right.
It's a good day, man.
So with that, you've got the little stone cube, and you continue through the city, and you don't see any other spectry people. But you make it up to these stone doors that kind of resemble the ones that you first opened to get into this entire area, but they're much bigger, much grander. Looks like this was like the town temple or something. It was carved into the side of this like rock face in this cavern. And you can tell these like wood beams that have been placed kind of like haphazardly all around it and then tacked into the stone were much newer than the original construction. Some of the wood's been rotted away, but some of it hasn't. So you estimate it's probably been much more recent that this was there. Like the wood on these beams is much better condition than the wood you saw in the marketplace and things.
Grab hold of one of these beams and try to pry it out.
Okay. Give me a strength test on that.
As
or
he
give
does
me
it,
a
I'll
force
attempt
test.
to give him advice on what to do, like I know something. Just like last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you need to grab it around the top and the bottom. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. I'm helping.
All right.
You know, I could use magic to do that too, but I'm not.
It's one success.
Nah.
So you get some good leverage and start pulling on one of these beams, and you're just grabbing the one that was like right in front of you. And as you start pulling on it and you snap it off, a piece of the bottom left corner of this door kind of slides out a little bit with the beam. And it looks like somebody had already like kind of chiseled a way into this door and put the beam over it as like a way to hide it. But it looks like this slot that's already been kind of carved could be removed and you could walk through there.
Oh, like it's a small door and a big door?
I could blow it up too, man.
Yes, could you make the small door larger so I could fit through?
Everyone stand back. And I'm going to use Evocation Earth and just blow the fucking door up.
All right. Do that. So you try to cram more stone than what's in there. So you say, everybody back up, and you just stand in front of the door. You clap your hands, and the door explodes at you as rubble just comes flying towards you.
I forgot to bring my safety goggles.
We're not cool guys because we stared right at the
only
explosion.
take 2 damage as stone, like maybe one of the stone, to your physical health. I actually do 2 stress as like 1 stone knocks past you.
Okay.
That damage. So there was the door exploded in a way that you could see that this had been like carved in almost a perfect square of a door in the bottom corner, and that's pretty much still intact because that was completely separated, and then the rest of the door frame is just gone. And the top part of it kind of fell and crumbled in, but there's definitely plenty of room for you to walk through this opening now.
Nice.
I'll put that one piece of door back.
Yeah, man. Like it made it through that. It deserves to be there.
Right. This door earned its place in door.
Good work, door.
I will say, so if you had command Earth, then you'd be able to like transmute a door or passageway.
Yeah.
But because you have evoke, you're just cramming like force and more into it.
Yeah.
I
was trying to debate whether or not I wanted command or evoke. And then I decided, you know what? I'm just a stupid, super fucking stoned pot plant walking around. So I don't think I should be thinking that hard. And I'm just going to fucking force everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense. Yeah. And that's one of the things that's nice about stone is like, you don't necessarily have to move it out of the way when you can make it explode with tension. But yeah, so you walk inside and there's this big long hallway that goes, and it's got places like hooks and things for where maybe there were tapestries and things before, but they've long since rotted, and you see kind of like just little debris and stuff of that at the edges of this.
Hello, danger.
But you do see
we're here.
You do see way down at the end of this hallway, though, excuse me, that there is a set of double doors that are a little bit taller than normal, but seem to be just closed.
Well, you yelled and nothing happened, and now there's doors. And you know what they say in times like these? Dora, 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 let's explore.
Yes, I was trying to find some way to work that joke in.
I got it, man. Fucking Kozel's got your back. Well,
Okay.
Kozel's got your back. If you're fucking Kozel, you might have my back.
You're
I don't
riding
know.
on my back, so I assume you've got my back.
I've got your back in that very literal sense that, like, giddy up, little cowboy.
Yeah.
All right.
Except I won't.
So, who walks in first?
I
leads
will.
the way? All
I'm
right.
a large lad with the armor, and I will walk forward.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna roll something. All right, Jake. As you're walking in, you just hear your feet kind of echoing down this hallway. It's like clack, 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 squish. As you feel something kind of like squish and almost pop underneath your foot.
I will examine my foot.
You look down, and there's this like ugly, exploded black leech that's stuck to the bottom of your shoe.
Oh, you killed it. Good job.
I'm a hero.
Is that the danger?
Well, if it's if it was a leech, then it's probably a bloodsucker of some sort. So, well, Kozel, you should be fine.
Yeah, man. I'm good.
Are there more of them?
I kind of hope so. That made a satisfying pop.
Did it have like blood in it?
I'll examine my
you are
foot.
able
Does
to
it have
see-
blood in it?
Yeah, you're able to see it does not have any blood in it. So
All right.
looks like it hasn't bit onto anybody.
Probably a
Well,
little thirsty.
good news,
Yeah.
bad news, right? Bad news is those fuckers, if there's more, they're probably thirsty and they're gonna try and eat you too. But I might let that happen, so be careful. And then 2, it means there's nothing else bigger in here that they're eating. So
That has blood in it, at
that has
least.
blood. So, it's give and take.
Rock giant, maybe?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blow
Ghost
it up.
giant?
Ghost rock giant?
I'm not gonna blow that up. Maybe if it's a rock giant, I'll blow it up. If it's a ghost
Okay,
giant,
all
I
right.
can't blow it up.
Well, maybe we'll give it some peppers from an excellent merchant we met in the market.
There we go.
Maybe we'll throw the cube
Alright.
of power at him. Ah, it's so kind of wet. Oh, never mind.
Is it still sticky?
Yeah.
Oh,
A
that's
little bit.
tragic. Let's go check out them doors. Or
Yeah.
like look for leeches. I don't care.
What should you do?
I
Look
will
at the floor and
stomp
see them.
forward.
Yeah.
Okay. So you walk forward, and as you walk down, you're approaching this door, you start hearing like as you hear like things falling and hitting the ground around you. And
That's
they kind
why I
of sound
said
like
I want to look
wet
up.
and meaty. Dan, give me that observation.
Okay.
Or
Is there an alternative to observe or?
if there's one that you think is that makes more sense, the way that you're doing it.
If they're coming from the ceiling, I don't know if find would work or not, just as a way to leverage something I'm better at. Finding the source of the sounds.
Not technically.
Okay. That's fine.
I'll say maybe, so you've got a torch in hand, and you know there's ceiling. Your torch doesn't reach the ceiling light wise. Maybe you could make a ranged attack to like check your torch up and see if you can see anything up there.
Okay. That works. That's more creative thinking than I have in my body. What's our context?
This would be Warren or Desolate still.
Oh boy.
So you're in an abandoned city.
Oh, that's not how we do this. Sorry.
Yeah, there's the check
Yeah,
in the
I've
bottom
been doing
corner.
it the whole time, and it's still one.
Awesome. All right.
Either way.
So yeah, you so you start hearing these plops, and you make one success though, and you throw your torch. As you do, you see it connect with a few of these leeches, and the entire ceiling, as this arcs and it gets closer, you see that the ceiling is just covered in these black leeches, especially above the door. But you get a few of them in your arc, and they seem to like get squished and burned, and you hear some sizzles and things. And you stop one of the ones that was about to fall on Jake.
Oh,
Ooh.
yay! But also gross. Does anybody have like flamethrower?
No.
Can you blow them up?
I could blow up the rock that they're attached to, but like, we're also under that rock. Maybe
That's
if I give
good.
you a rock and you throw it, I can blow it up in midair like a grenade.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that works.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll look around for some
I'll-
rocks.
I'll throw the rock and you blow it up.
I don't care who throws it. I'll blow it up either way.
I'm good at ranged attacks.
All right.
Sure. Yeah. There's plenty of rubble from this door behind you. You can feel free to like pick up any chunk of it, make a ranged attack to chuck it, and then
All right.
once you do that, we'll have 3 successes.
I'm killing some of
Perfect.
them either way.
You get it like dead center mass, and then check.
I got a success.
Success. So, like a little mini shrapnel bomb, you just toss this piece of rubble up. And then, Jake, give me, since you're right underneath it, give me some sort of either like dexterity to dodge out of the way, or athletics if you just want to like run out of it.
Yeah, I'll just do an
whichever.
athletics to run.
Okay.
It's okay.
One
A
success.
success. So you
Oh, gosh.
run out of the little
Okay.
blast radius there,
Yeah.
and this rock explodes and sending little shrapnel, and all these little raining leeches fall down, and you've effectively cleared the ceiling out.
All right.
And there's just a bunch of, some of them are still alive, but you can see where they are now with the light, and it's not too hard to just kind of step on them as you're walking through. They're not like supernatural leeches. They're just a bunch of leeches that were sitting up there.
So like, I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's like the one who casts like magic and shit. That's a point for me.
Oh.
Yes.
Works. Yeah. All right. So you make it to this set of double doors. You're able to open it, and you look inside, and there's this big rectangular room. And you see there's a few like pedestals and things where it looks like there used to be statues or maybe like marble busts or something. And you see this like one kind of pile of these marble pieces of statue, or these like stone statues, kind of like in the back center of the wall. And then to the left, there is a door going farther in.
Statues and door.
Yeah, so straight ahead is a pile of statue parts, and then to the left is another set of double doors.
Let's go look at the statues, because like,
Okay.
There's
I can blow
statues.
those up too.
Yeah,
See if I can't get me a nice foot to kick someone with.
that's right.
There are plenty of parts, like you see like arms and halves of torsos and a few heads and all different pieces. Looks like there's a bunch of smashed statues in this room. And as the rest of you pile into this room, you hear this like deep, almost like breathing sound. It's just, and you see the pile of statues kind of swell up,
Fuck.
and then
I'm sorry. I just
As
got
it
shit
exhales.
blood out of me.
Why you should have a pet possum, not a cat. Possums don't have
hurts.
claws.
You just got rabies instead.
Possums don't have rabies. Their
I know.
natural
I
body
think they're immune
temperatures.
to it, aren't they?
Yeah, that's too low. It can't fucking like possums, man. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
You see this pile of statues kind of swelling
My
and
go-to
compressing as if
failed.
it's asleep.
Do you want me to blow it up, or you want to go like wake it up, or like do we just sneak past it? It could be a friend.
Is this where we like make the joke of I'll pick up like a hand, like a broken hand piece, and I'll say, "Let me give it a hand," and then you can blow up the hand as I throw
The
it.
broken piece of hand that Dan picks up, I blow up in his hand. Okay, it's a bad joke, and I'm gonna make you feel bad for it.
This little like you pick up a hand, just crumbles to dust in your hands.
I don't know,
Nah.
man. Bypass or engage? Because there's
I'm
a
fine with
door.
either.
Mhm.
Either way, I'm hitting the door. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going up to the door then, Jake?
sure.
Okay. So as you walk up to the door, and I'm assuming you're just opening it or checking if it's stuck or something.
Yeah. Just
So-
put my hand against it and pushing.
Okay. You put your hand against it and push, and the stone kind of scrapes along the ground. As you do that, you hear the slumbering sound just kind of, and it seems like it wakes up, and the whole pile of stone statues kind of just jumbles and shakes. You hear all the pieces clink together as it kind of rights itself up a little bit. And as it repositions and starts turning around, you see it's kind of pulling itself along with this big claw that's made out of pieces. It's like it's a torso of one of the statues, and it's got the hand as like the little mini piece of the claw. And it pulls itself around, and it looks to be like a hermit crab made out of statue parts.
Explode.
And you hear this deep, slumbering voice kind of call it like, is anyone there?
Don't
Yeah,
explode.
man.
Don't go further.
Why?
That's my job.
Oh, you're like
Can't
a
go further
guard.
till you prove your worth.
How do we do that?
What he said.
And he like starts clawing. He pulls himself a little bit away from the wall.
If you
He's
just
like,
come
"You
over
gotta
here and
beat me
just
in a
explode.
game.
Oh,
no.
like backgammon?
That's a game. Yeah.
Is it? How about guess who? I'll come over there and you guess who I am.
I don't like that game. I'll lose. I don't know
What
who you
about
are.
what about they got Connect 4, but I'm bad at math. So like we do like Connect 2?
No, I got a game. And
Oh, well, you should have
he,
led
like,
with that,
pulls
man.
himself out a little bit. And he you hear this like scraping sound as he drags this like little chest out from the wall, and he flips its lid off and tilts it up, and you see this small set of stone cubes kind of tumble out of it. You see 5 of these stone cubes tumble out onto the ground, and he slides 2 across the room and in front of I guess probably Dan's closest to him. So he
Yeah,
like slides
probably.
2 cubes up to you, and then he pulls 3 to himself. He's like, "You gotta beat me," and he like
Do what now?
he
The other
takes.
cube out.
You see this tiny little hand. You see like a smaller part. It's just like a hand that all of it's like a smaller pincer, but just made out of a single arm. And it scoops up 3 of these cubes, and it drops them.
Oh.
Your turn.
Are these just like the cubes that I have one of in my pocket?
You don't have any cubes.
Huh?
Gotta beat me.
How do we beat you? Like, you're throwing rocks, but we don't know what they do or like what the rules are. Like, is there
I'll
math
tell you
involved?
after you roll.
That's fucking dirty because
yeah.
then you could change the rules to whatever makes you win.
I wouldn't do that.
I don't know you, man. You might.
I'm a
Like-
respectable hermit crab.
Says just you.
Yeah.
Well, the
And all
3
my
of us
friends,
say,
as he says, all my friends, like all of the statues kind of like shiver all on his whole body.
oh, we can make them disagree.
Well, just throw your 3 cubes, man.
I did.
No, I'm talking to my friend here.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess I'll take the 1 out of my pocket and pick the 2 up. And
okay. roll me 3d6.
Oh, you pick the worst person to play this game.
Oh no.
Should I roll this as a check or just 3d6?
Just 3d6 added together. And you can do it from like the table up top.
Eh.
And he says, damn it. Best 2 out of 3.
No, man, we beat you fair and square.
No, it's best 2 out of 3. The last
No,
everyone.
You should have
was changed-
dictated that beforehand.
Now you're changing the rules.
See, that's what I warned you were going to do. You were going to change the rules, man.
Isn't he statue friends?
Well,
He said, roll it and you got to beat me. We beat you fair and square.
maybe I was saying, well, I rolled lower,
Yeah, we won.
but maybe rolling lower wins.
But you just told us that you lost and you want
See,
to play best 2 out of 3.
Remember when I said, like,
I just said, damn it. It could have been for any reason.
you remember when I said, like, you got to tell us these rules beforehand because then you might change them. And then sure as shit, man, like you're changing the rules. Like I call party foul.
Fine.
You are disrespecting yourself and your mother.
And he slides out. And he
I'm
puts
picking
his
up.
tiny hand out and he like pulls all of them, all the dice
One
back.
of those is mine.
And you're able to like, grab it out as you do that. So he grabs his 5 dice and picks them up and drops them back in the chest, and then pulls it back into his body and starts.
I would
figuring out,
also like
whatever.
to talk to you, man, about the unfairness and the fact that you got to roll 3 die and initially you only gave us 2. So like,
Well, I've been here longer.
it doesn't mean you get to have more dice than us in a fair game.
advantage.
House advantage is bullshit, and you know it, man. You were stacking the
I
guest.
like it.
Well, silver lining is I would have beat you even with just 2 of them.
Yeah, man, you sucked
Wow.
either way.
Oh, whatever. And as he like starts turning around, you see this like flash of light as something gets tossed back up over his head, and you see this like pair of, it looks like hedge trimming scissors,
No,
like those kind of like pincery scissor things with like the slightly bent handle, but they're kind of small. And he like tosses those back to you guys.
you keep
There
those
you
things
go.
away from me, man.
Are you threatening my friend?
Yeah, man, what the
No,
fuck?
it's yours. You might need it. I don't know. And you, as he starts saying that, he kind of trails off and falls back asleep.
All right. I guess if they're small, I'll carry those 2.
Yes, they're small. It's a D4 trimming scissors.
Yeah, your hands might fit them better anyway.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, probably. They're probably like the size of your hand there, Jake.
No, I'll just I'll nod towards the pile of sleeping statue parts and open the door.
All right, you do so. Door opens up. You see this long, kind of narrow, rectangular room. And you see that there's like 2 kind of divots in the walls that go back. And from like where you're standing in the doorway, you don't initially see what's in these divots. They're like little recesses that go further back, and your shadow kind of just casts an edge on it.
Dan, you should go check those out, man.
Okay. All right. I'll kind of like sneak up to him a little bit.
Okay. Are you doing that as like a conceal test?
Yes, please.
All right.
Just in case there's something dangerous on the other side.
Sure.
Hooray.
1 success.
I have to
Perfect.
roll so many dice to get 1 success.
It works though. And you didn't roll any ones, at least. There is still pushing in this game, so I forgot to remind you guys of that. But pushing, you can push. So you stealth though. You kind of slink down and peek around the corner, and you see that in each of these little recesses at the very back of them, they probably go back about 7 feet or so. and there are two statues that are standing upright, but kind of like leaning in, and they're looking at each other.
I
And then
might
there's a
like
set of doors
okay.
past them.
Like, does it look like their like eyes like meet each other?
Yeah, kind of.
Like,
Either we gotta like wave something in front of them, or we gotta just avoid them altogether. I think.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. If they're statues, I could just try and blow them up, but maybe they're important.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, I've seen the Never-Ending Story too. Like, I know how this shit goes, man.
Poorly.
Yeah, man.
I thought so. Yeah.
I'm scared of the high dive too.
I'll just try and like find something and just wave it in front of one of them. Not like
Okay.
where I'm putting myself in front, but just the thing.
Sure. Yeah, you're able to like put a sword or something out in front of it, or like some thing
Just
from your
debris.
pack, or even these clippers, and you wave it, nothing happens.
Oh. Well, then I don't know. Let's go, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll follow you.
If we run past it, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely like. I'm definitely still like ducking under the eyes.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you do so. And so then Jake goes to the next set of doors, opens them. Room looks almost identical. You see like another smaller rectangular room, two recesses, and another set of double doors past that.
So there's something in the room other than the recesses.
So like it's basically these long rectangular rooms, and in the center of them are these like little sections. And in the first room, you saw that there were two statues, and in the next room, you haven't seen what's in them yet.
I will. I'll tiptoe up to one of them, and then I'll just sort of careen my head around the recess to see what's in it.
All right. You see a statue, but it's facing with its back to you, and it's like in the corner.
Huh. Well, I'll grab hold of the statue and try to, move it around, swirl it.
Sure. You start turning it, and it's pretty heavy, but after like a little bit, it almost feels like it's on something that lets it rotate with you, because it's not like sliding along the ground as you do that. It seems to like stay pretty much in place. And you just grinding of a stone as you write it. And then from this angle, you're able to see down the other one too. There's another similar statue that is also turned with its back facing the wall.
Do we need them to be friends with each other?
I think so, man.
It's sad to see them being so cold towards each other.
Yeah, make them all look at each other.
All right. I'll go to the other one and I'll make it look at its buddy across the way.
After that, we make them kiss.
I'm all right with that, man.
So you walk over to this one, you start turning it. And as you go to turn this one, the top half of the statue just breaks off and tumbles. And as you go to catch it, its head just falls and smashes on the ground.
Oh.
You're holding like the top torso and arms of a statue.
Now they can't kiss.
Kozel, can you unexplode rocks?
Let me try, man. Let me try. Yeah, I'll cast Evoke an Earth. I know it's not going to work, but it's still funny.
I mean,
Form of a
you
statue.
technically could. 2 successes. So you're able to. Are you doing this on like the
Re-explode.
smashed head, or like
Oh,
on
wait.
the
Wait,
on the
what am I
torso that he's
thinking?
holding?
I have Restore,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it's the
Do you
same
have the
dice
same
pool.
amount of? Okay. Yeah. We'll just say it's a restore then. So Jake's able to like write it back up and kind of hold the pieces in place, and you cast restore with 2 successes, and you see it kind of start forming back. And it's a little bit discolored, but it's back in the same shape that it used to be.
I forget
Good
that I can
job.
do that. I'm so used to blowing shit up, man.
Point.
All right.
I
And
fixed
it
it.
seems to be like there was like something kind of wedged underneath the part of it that rotated.
Is it
But
a
that's
nickel?
gone now.
Oh, okay.
It was just like a bit of rock or rubble or whatever, but you're able to turn it and you get it all the way back. And it's righted. And as soon as you get it faced all the way back around, you feel it kind of click and you hear thump, 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 and you hear like a more distant two thumps as these stone things kind of fall down into their place a little bit. And with that, you hear 2 clicks in the door in front of you, leading out of this room.
Look at that. They all needed to kiss.
We are fucking geniuses.
I know.
Let's go.
Indeed.
That works.
I'll walk over to the doors and kick them open. Yeah.
Okay. You kick these doors open, and you don't even need to roll for it. These ones are better
They're unlocked.
because they were on kind of like a mechanism holding them in place, and now they like fell down a little bit. They're a lot looser, so they fly open, and you see a much bigger room than the previous. It's probably about it's closer to the size of the room that the big crab was in, and you don't see anything on the other side of the room, but you do see what looks to be the shape of 6 figures. They're probably statues because that's what you've seen, but each of them are covered with these like canvas tarps over their heads. Your light's kind of like dancing around the room. You see shadows of them all over the place.
I mean, like, do you want me to like go and like get a
I
closer
do.
look at him or
I
something?
do. Yeah.
You go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
man. This is all you.
I think it's like birds. If you put a blanket over their head, they go to sleep
Oh
and
shit,
then they
man.
don't bite you.
I was a bird once. It was all right.
Oh,
I'm sure you were a nest once.
No, I was. Parts of me might be a nest. If I am though,
Okay,
this
is that for
fucking
a
little.
conceal?
yeah. I'm kind of gonna come around wide and maybe see if I can like see the front of them. Are they fully covered?
They're not completely full. It's like they're not big enough that they're completely covered, so you can see like the bottoms of their legs and things. And then some of them are in like different poses. So the ones that have like their hands up, it's up a little bit more, and you can see more of them. They'd all look to be statues. They're just kind of like frozen in place.
Like how big are
tarps.
they? Like people size, bigger than
People sized. Yeah, people sized, just as all the other ones in this have been so far.
And there's
They
nothing
kinda
else
match.
in here.
Nope, you just see there's like the doors that let in, and then it's a big rectangular room and just these statues.
I'll go up to one. I'm be like, just
You clink against it, and nothing seems to happen.
I'll get like down, look up under the tarp.
All right, you look underneath the tarp, and you see. So this is one that's like holding something kind of at their chest, and they have their hand out a little bit.
Like a
And
guitar.
it looks like they're clutching a small, so like most of it's all made out of stone, but it's clutching this small little metal rod that's kind of like holding almost like a wand or a pencil. It's like just a little tiny length of metal.
One of them's got a pointy stick like yours.
Good for it, man.
Can you take it?
Can I take it?
You reach up and grab it, slide it out, and you leave the tarp over it, and you now have this tiny little length. It's like a solid, just it looks like metal that's just been stretched out into this cylinder. And you don't see any engravings or anything on it. It's just like solid metal.
I have a metal stick too.
Mine's made of wood, but you do you, man.
Well, 2 stick is better than no stick.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
each their own. Can the other statues hold that stick?
I don't know. I've only looked up the skirt of one of them so far.
Pervert.
So
I
let's
guess
see
I'll-
about the others then.
Yeah, I guess I'll go to the next one.
Yep. You with the next one, and it's standing there with its arms crossed.
He looks grumpy.
So
Go to
far,
the
we've
next
got
one.
Sticky and Grumpy.
Uh-huh.
Go to the next one, and it's also standing with its arms crossed, but it's got a metal rod that's pretty similar to the sticky rolling, but it's like scaled up.
Oh, this one looks grumpy, but with a bigger stick.
Why is it Grumpy then?
I don't know. I'm gonna take the stick.
Now I
Right.
can just be grumpy.
You're able to kind of slide it out, and as you do, you see that its like arms kind of sink in.
Oh, now he looks kind of sad grumpy when I took the stick from him.
That's rude.
Now you got a small little metal rod, and or you've got the small rod and the bigger one. And as you look at the bigger one, you see that there's like a hole, kind of, in the very end of it.
I was actually
Oh,
going
it's
to
like
ask about
docking,
something
man.
like this. Like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was going with this.
Yeah, man.
So it looks like the one that you like, the smaller rod that you've got would fit in it, but it's way smaller than it.
There's probably another. This is
Is
going to
the
be like
small
triple
rod
docking.
got a hole in
And
it?
then this is not like, it's not like a tube and you're putting it in the top. It's like a tube, and then there's a hole like this way through it.
It's probably
Oh, wow.
triple docking.
Or it's like a Prince Albert situation.
It could be. But whatever it is, I'm going to put it back together under the tarp. So I don't have to see. No.
You've already gone this far, man. Like, you've handled their sticks, you've looked up their skirts. Like, don't be ashamed now.
Good point. Let's look under the next one.
Okay. So you look under the next one, and you see that it's another person that's kind of got their hand out, but they're, instead of having it out like they're going to hold something, they've got their fingers pinched together, and you see this triangle of very similar looking metal.
Am I able to take the triangle out too?
Yeah, it takes a little bit. You have to like kind of
Like
wench it out of its
finagle?
fingers, but yeah, pops out.
Oh, now I can I play the triangle? Ding, 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 ding.
As you do that, the back wall of the room disappears.
Oh, look at that,
Ooh.
guys.
Oh, shit.
I'm magic too.
Holy shit, man. Welcome to the club. Like, we meet on Tuesdays, and like the dues are cheap. It's fine. I would avoid every other month. There's a Thursday meetup. Don't go to that. It's not worth it.
Is that where the assholes go?
No, it's the orgy.
Oh,
Well, so it is where the assholes go.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's technically correct.
Yeah.
There's still another statue, right?
There was. You go looking for it, and you don't see. You swear there was, but you don't see this last statue.
Oh man, did you guys see where the last statue went?
No.
No, I was paying attention to the triangle.
Yeah, man. You had that funky
It was
beat.
pretty neat. I know.
As you're looking for it, you do see that there's like a tarp that's empty laying on the ground.
I guess I'll lift it up in case there's any more funny metal rods that are left behind.
You lift up under it, and you don't see anything, but you do see like there's kind of a spot where it's a little bit less dusty, right in the middle of it.
I'm sure he's fine down there.
It's fine.
So does it look like I can do anything with any of these pieces I have left? Like they don't fit into each other or anything, right?
They don't, no. So you've got like a bigger like cylindrical one with a hole drilled through the, well, not drilled, but there's a hole like in the top of it, and then you've got triangle and then a little ringer for it.
Maybe I played the triangle too soon.
Not sure. If you do it again,
Let me
you
try
might see what can
something.
happen.
Do you
When
want
I
me to try
point to
and-
you, you cling the triangle. All
I
right.
say, do you want me to unplay the triangle?
Ooh, how do you unplay a triangle?
I do the same thing, but in reverse.
Nothing happens. You hear no discernible difference in the dings.
Many dings were had.
I thought that would work.
As long as, like,
Or
there's an
is-
appropriate
or
amount of
walls.
dongs with it, then
Oh, let me try with the bigger one and see if that does anything.
Think.
How are you doing this? So like
It's basically the exact same thing, but with the bigger stick. And if it
so
doesn't,
the bigger
fit
stick
through
does
the-
not fit in the triangle.
you can
then
hit the outside of
then
the
I'll hit
triangle.
the outside.
So you throw the triangle at the
So
bigger one.
it's a little bit more unwieldy. Like you could barely get your hand all the way around it. Maybe Jake could get his hand like all the way around it, but you like thunk, 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 and you can kind of feel the bigger rod like vibrate as if it were like kind of the same way that the triangle does when it's if you've ever held like a tuning fork, how it's like got that vibration. You feel that in the bigger one, but it's a lot more muted and doesn't work very well.
Okay. And the statue's still like missing.
You don't see one of the statues.
Oh man, this is probably gonna be a problem later. But well, it's not a problem right now. Let's go.
Exactly.
All right. So
Just in case it is a
at
problem later, I'll take the big stick with me.
okay.
So I'll keep the small ones and you keep the big one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So the two small ones are they're not like you can just put a dash for their size because they're so small. But the bigger rod you can put a D4. Just say
Okay.
metallic rod. All right. So past this wall, it's like a thicker section of wall that just is not there anymore. And you see that you're in this like smaller room, same width, but not quite as deep. And you hear like the trickling of water. And you see that in this room, there is a door to the right. And then at the back left, it looks like it opens up into a passageway. And then at the bottom of this passageway, there's like shallow water. So it looks like the room kind of goes and then dips down a little bit. And there's this like shadow or shallow water. And you see like a similar kind of blue, teal, bioluminescent light coming out of it, as you saw in the way
Is the
before.
water in such a place that we have to go into it, or
If you wanted to go down the passageway, you would have to step into the water, but you don't have to step
Oh.
into the water to go to the right door.
How far does this water, like, how much of a water gap do we have to cross?
So it looks like you have to just stand in it and walk down this passageway if you were
Okay, so it's a
down the
long
passageway.
trek through the water.
Right. And well,
Okay.
because it's basically like an L-shaped room,
Mm-hmm.
and the L is like the passage, and then you're walking in here. So as you get to the top of the room, it's just water and it goes on.
okay?
Well, let's check the
But
door
there is
first.
a door to the right.
Yeah.
All right. As you walk into this room, you see that there is, like, as soon as you open the door to it, you kind of hear this low hum. And then as you step into the room, it sounds more like a high pitched overtone above it. And on the other side, you hear the trickling of water, like along the back wall. And it looks like there's like this little grate in the back top left, close to the ceiling. And there's just this steady stream of blue glowing water. It's pouring out, it's going into this channel that runs underneath the wall into that channel in the next room. But as it does that, you see that there's this little box with what looks like a tuning fork. And it's got these two like kind of brown coppery looking ends that are sticking into the water. You hear this high pitch just
We'll
sound.
grab the tuning fork.
The other thing you see in this room too, right by the door, it looks like there's kind of a curved pole, and it almost looks like something that a lantern would go on. There's nothing on it. There's like a little hook almost for a lantern. But so you start, nothing happens.
And what about the tuning fork in the water?
Yeah, so it looks like there's this tuning fork that's like kind of floating above the water slightly, but the tips of it are touching it.
Oh, do I need to like go get that and bang on it some?
So as you walk towards it, you walk face first into this wall that you don't see. There's almost like this invisible barrier, and it kind of ripples out white along the sides. And it seems like there's some force field thing in the middle of this room.
Where's
Stopping
the
you from
hook
crossing.
at, you said, for like a lantern?
It's right next to the door that you came through. So
Okay, so we can get to it.
Yeah.
Hang
So we
the
need,
triangle from that.
Sure. It's just like a lantern.
I mean, it's, a hook's a hook, right?
You hang the triangle on it. You diddling, nothing seems to happen.
I think I used up all my magic for the day.
Get your fucking lantern out, man.
I'll
Hang
take
that
my
up
triangle-
there.
Take the triangle back down and
Put a lantern on it. And as you put the lantern on it, nothing really happens, but you can see it better. It looks like this hook's got like a long kind of flat part on it. So like the hook comes down, it's long and flat, and then it comes back up. And your
I
lantern
wonder
kind of is able to
if
slide
The big
on that.
fucking stick is a weight, and we put it on that, and it weighs it down, and like it activates a lever.
maybe.
That sounds like an idea.
Let's do that.
Yeah. I'll
All
take
right.
the lantern off and I'll put the big rod with the hole in it on.
You do that. And as you click this weight onto it and you let go, you see that the like hooked arm kind of like moves up and down a little bit and then slowly starts to sink into the ground. And then it clicks. As it does that, you hear the high pitch kind of go out instantly.
Oh, neat.
And Dan, you're by that like kind of force fieldy
Yeah,
wall,
I'll
and you
kinda,
no
like-
longer see it. You're able to put your hand through it,
Oh,
and you just see there's like this tuning fork kind of floating above the water with its two ends in the water. And as you get closer to that, you hear that humming kind of come back. But it just seems to be there, like floating within reach.
okay. No one ever taught me to be suspicious of anything, so I'll just reach out and
Alright.
get it. And I'll like probably pull it up like I just drew Excalibur out of a Sword in the Stone.
Okay. And so you go and grab it. And most tuning forks are just like small little things, and they've got a tiny little for you to like pinch. This one's got more of a handle that you're able to like actually grasp on it. But as you like tighten your hand around it, you feel it kind of vibrating as if it were ringing, and your hand dampens that. And you see this little spark jump between the two ends of the tuning fork and then go out, and you lift it out.
I think I ruined it.
Or you freed it. Let's go stick it in the water we got to pass through and see what happens.
Okay. I still like pull it.
So it
out
was
like
already
Excalibur.
in the water.
Yeah, but it was in this water, not that water.
Well, it seems to run like under the wall. It looks like they're.
Oh my gosh, they've got fucking foundation issues.
Yes, they do. Someone should probably tell them.
I'm not going to.
This
Fuck
is probably
them.
gonna need a lot of work.
Yeah,
They also had leeches. That's an infestation.
it is,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
This right here is probably the danger they were talking about.
Is there anything else in this room?
Nope. It's this
Water?
little tuning fork.
All
in
this
the-
erosion.
water.
and- structural issues.
Now you can play the triangle with the tuning fork and like Voltron that shit for like extra power.
Oh my god. I'm gonna be some sort of musical wizard.
Yeah, man. Like,
Maybe I'll become a bard.
or you
yeah.
could become the bass player for Led Zeppelin. That's also pretty cool.
Yeah.
So on your character sheet, write down Sparking Fork. It's a D6.
Oh my gosh. I've got so many things in my
And
inventory.
it has the properties Focus and Unidentified as tags.
Okay.
Here, man. Let me see that tuning fork. I'll identify it for you.
Oh, can you do that?
Yeah, man. Give it here.
Okay.
I'll taste it.
Okay.
Of course.
You go to taste it, and I don't think you have the gnome trait that would let you
No, I don't.
identify.
No, I'm not expecting anything from this.
It tastes like a D battery.
So,
Yeah, man.
if
Like,
Chuck were a gnome, there's a racial trait you can take where gnomes in this have kind of like a synesthesia thing where their senses blend together, and they have a sense that detects magic and it blends into one of their other senses. Chuck doesn't have that trait.
I don't
but
have that.
You would, if you were a gnome, you would be able to detect if it had magic by doing that in the future, if anyone wanted to while playing this. But
No. When we go into a campaign, I'm
no,
keeping
it
Kozel.
tastes like metallic, a little bit coppery. It's pretty bright, almost like citrusy.
I identify this as something that would be really cool to like stir your glass of iced tea with.
Oh, I've been needing one of those.
Here you go, man. You got it.
All right.
Now I don't have to put the
Yep.
sugar packs in my drink anymore. Can just stick this in it.
Okay.
It's the steel
And then
fork.
it seems like the hook has kind of like formed solid around the that weight that you put on it, so it can't be removed now.
Oh,
But
that's kind of disappointing.
but you still got the little triangle and the little beater for it, and now this
Can
tuning fork.
I'm going to play the tuning fork of stevia and the triangle together.
Okay. Give me a.
Let's probably see how badly I fucked myself over.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Did you say stevia a second ago? Like the artificial sweetener?
Yeah.
Oh, we're just going all Breaking Bad references today. Okay.
What proficient saving throws do you have?
Tacos.
Intellect and wisdom.
I think intellect works. So
Oh no.
give me an intellect test
It'd have to be
or a saving
intellect.
throw. So
Do I get the benefit of any domains or anything, or is it?
no, it's saving throws in this are just pure roll under. But because you have proficiency, you get to roll twice.
Mm-hmm. Whoa!
Wow.
I rolled
Oh,
2
all
dice
right.
for that.
What? Why do you have a 1?
I don't know. Did it really only roll 1? I put 2 in.
Yeah, because so roll 20s less than signs, not actually less than, it's less than or equal to. So I had to do a weird macro that adds 1 to the thing that it's checking against. So 1 is actually a 2.
I only rolled 1 die though. I'm supposed to have 2.
For
For a save.
I mean, it's fine. I still passed, but
well, you should still. So you're on the save. You just get to push the save thing. Like, so what was your attribute?
I did push the save. It was intellect, and I have a 2, so I put
Okay.
2 in the value.
Yeah.
But
So
looks like
you
I
would
only
just
rolled-
push like save and then 2 and then save and then 2. Okay.
which is what I did. I was just puzzled
Mhm.
because it says it's rolling 1d6.
Right. It's rolling 2 minus 1. It has to do that because the math. It's not actually the way that check works is weird because I had to make the macro roll
Oh.
under, so I had to
Okay.
add one.
So it's not a dice
Subtract one
pool,
to it.
right?
Yeah. So on the saving throw, it's just you roll a d6, and if it's under your attribute,
Oh,
Then you
okay.
pass.
That's where the
Oh,
confusion was. We
okay,
were
okay, I
expecting a
understand.
dice pool,
I was expecting a dice.
and
pool.
it's
Oh, okay.
a different.
Sorry.
It's
No,
a
no, no.
D6 roll under. Okay, that on
Yeah,
board
sorry.
now. We're all cleared up.
Yes.
So the higher you have an attribute, the easier it is for you to pass a saving throw.
Wow.
Cool.
So I got
Okay.
really lucky
Basically.
because I rolled a 1.
Yes.
you did.
And so
Yeah,
if you
you
have
did.
2, a 1 is the only thing you can roll to pass that. And that's why I also say I recommend you don't put a 1 in anything because you will auto fail any saving throw that you have a 1 in.
I did it, guys.
You
It's
did
that
it.
one time where
Good job,
rolling
man.
1 matters.
And so you did a good use of proficiency in that saving throw because you can choose to either put a saving throw proficiency on one that you're already good at, that you're just like will pretty much always pass those, or you can reinforce one that you're really bad at, like what you did, and it made you not get exploded by this shock wand. As you dig into it, it shoots a lightning bolt out, and you're not able to control it, and it flies off. It doesn't hurt you or anybody, but you know this has something to do with lightning, and you still haven't identified it because there's more to how it works.
Hey,
I am
but
a wizard.
hey, that's
you did
not
the save and
true.
throw,
I
so you
identified
didn't
what
hurt.
it tastes like.
Right. So you haven't identified the spell effect of it. You know what it tastes like, but unfortunately, that does not help you determine how to
Good
wield it.
recovery,
it
Joe.
actually
Good
is.
recovery.
Right. So
What is it with our goddamn characters in Joe's campaigns and tasting them?
that's
would
why
you
I
taste
put
everything?
the gnome in. I put the gnome thing where you can like taste and smell and like use your senses on shit because like I knew that had to have some mechanic in the game.
And we ignored
yet-
it. We ignored
yet-
it.
Bucket of barf. I taste it.
That's yeah. It's fine. It's more of an homage to it. I didn't think you guys still want any mechanical benefit.
It was there and we didn't take it, but we still did
Yeah.
it anyways.
Right. Yeah.
I've got a
So-
gnome friend I've seen do this, and he's all like, "Yeah, man, that shit's magical. Like, this shit just tastes
Yeah,
like a
absolutely.
lemon."
Oh god, yeah, it would be great
Gnomes-
because now before he tastes things, he could just summon a pepper shaker and sprinkle a little pepper on it.
There you go, man. Kozel's dead though. Not
yeah.
Kozel. Reen's dead
Yeah.
because that was like 600 years ago. Or
Right.
yeah,
About 600, 650 years ago.
yeah. Well, he might be alive, but he's old as fuck now.
Yeah.
It's
If
really
he
tired.
didn't get impacted by the near continent wide war and magical fallout that happened from
Anyone can
moderate-
survive that. It's Reen.
The moderate oops.
the moderate oops. Yes. But yeah. So you know this thing's dangerous. You know, if you try to clink metal into it or make this ring, it has some sort of spell effect with it. And you know that you barely can't control it. So, or barely.
Can? I feel like I barely can control it.
Yeah. But that's it. So you have successfully removed this electrified rod from the water that you had to walk through and stopped it from reading. And
I guess it's a good thing we didn't walk through the water first.
yeah.
Which is
That's
what I
pretty
would
much
have
all that
done
is.
and died.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just would have been like if you step into the water, you would have seized up and someone would have had to grab you.
Yeah.
We could have
I do
ripped
have
the
an
door
intellect
off
of 2.
and
so
used
I
it
feel
as a
confident.
raft.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just like that one movie,
Yeah.
Titanic. Yeah. That's
If you
it.
rolled well enough to rip
Mhm.
the door off and would have floated. You would have to hope that there's no like metal binding on the door.
The doorknob.
That would be
Yeah.
yeah. Be careful of that. But yeah, so you're able to safely walk down this little water passageway now, and it loops around and kind of zigzags back and forth. And it's not very tall water. It's probably just up to like ankle height. But you wade through it and you come to a door at the end of that. And there's like a little bit of a slope up. So you're opening a door that's out of the water.
Cool.
Hooray.
Okay.
Let's open the door.
Open that door.
Open this door because you all have done plenty of door opening.
I
got this one.
I will stand way back.
What is the frame of the door? Is it like set in stone?
Yep.
All right, I'm just going to explode that.
Yeah. If he's opening doors, we all know to get back.
Yeah.
Roll and evoke.
Two successes.
Use 2 successes. And I was going to require 2 successes because you're in a very narrow, dangerous hallway. So you're able to evoke this like creative, constructive.
Wait, the door's made of wood, right?
The door's made out of wood, but you're like forcing. It's like set stone that you're forcing stone into.
So I guess what I was getting at, the wood counts as nature, yeah?
Right, but you didn't target the wood.
I didn't. I was just thinking I could have also just exploded the door on its own. But anyway, I explode the stone around.
Oh yeah, yeah. Technically the wood would have been considered nature because it's
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll remember that next time. I
like
can
to
explode
imagine
doors
that
too.
the door is intact and just goes flying off or something.
And this
like
is
that.
where Joe regrets giving so much freedom and spell abuse.
It's very easy for it to backfire. So
That's fair.
you know.
All right, anyway, I
And
explode the
probably
frame
don't want to
around
do
the
it to
door.
too many more structural parts of this dungeon. But yeah. So you explode the frame of the door. You send it into the room. That's what the second success did. So you don't get hit by shrapnel bits of rock and things. And you have this grand entrance as you're walking to this giant hallway. It's got these 4 rows of 2 pillars each. And you see in the center of this room is a statue kneeling and kind of sitting calmly, and it's got a sword laid across its lap.
Like a real sword or like a statue sword?
Looks to be a stone sword, but it's sheathed.
So statue sword.
Yeah, man. Go slap that statue on the ass.
Okay. I'll do it. I have an elective too.
So you walk into the room, and it didn't seem to react at all to the doorway exploding and you sending like chunks of everything flying into the room. But as soon as you step past the first row of these pillars, it animates and stands up. Well, it doesn't stand up. It kind of like readies itself, and it like gets up on one knee and has one leg posed, almost like it's at like a sprinting stance. And you see it have the sword drawn instantly, and it's locking eyes with you.
What kind of sword is it now that it's drawn? Is it still stone?
Steel. The handle and the sheath are stone, but you can see it's a steel sword.
I'll pull my magic wand out and point at it and say, abracadabra. I saw that in a movie once.
That's
Nothing happens, but you just say an abracadabra.
okay.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Nothing happens.
It's Leviosa.
Leviosa. You gotta swish and flick the fuck out of it.
Swish and
Yeah, you're just waving around.
I want to call out to the statue, like, "Hey, man, like, chill out. Like, put your sword away. We're friends. Maybe."
It's just got eyes locked. Right on.
Okay.
I'll just start backing right on out of here.
So under evoke, summoning, multiplying growth, period, additive energy that does not change properties, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna superheat that sword.
Okay. So that is considered Earth. when you start targeting things that are wielded by people or things, it becomes more difficult than just terrain.
Okay.
So I'll let you know it's probably going to be 2 or 3 successes for that to land instead of just 1.
You got it. I'm about to roll 8. Look at
8
that.
successes.
3
3
successes.
My gosh.
Almost an 8. Just
All right.
missing a couple lines.
Mm-hmm. 3 successes. So you target the sword that he's holding and you start to superheat it. But it doesn't, like, it's hot, but he's still holding the stone and he seems to be made out of stone. He doesn't seem to care too much.
Are you
It's
just
getting hot.
making it easier for him to kill me?
You know, now that I think about it like that, man, I think you're right. Like, I was thinking like, oh, it's going to melt, but it didn't. So now he's just
So
got a
you
real,
just
a real
you
hot
just
sword.
superheated a tempered sword.
Oh my gosh. I think
All the impurities are cooked out of
I
the
think I
sword.
fucked up. You got this. Just don't get hit.
So you said you start backing up. Where do you move to?
I'm like going just right back to the door. I'm like undoing everything.
So-
I did, just straight up.
As soon as you break eye contact with him by going
Oh no,
around
I'm
the
not
pillar.
gonna like break contact. I'm literally like
Well-
going backwards.
But you can't maintain eye contact with him where he's standing. If you make it back to the door, the
Okay.
pillar will be in the way.
Okay.
Line of sight.
So
It's like a line.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, whatever the case, I will be backing away until I get to the door. So when he
Okay.
comes and kills me for breaking eye contact, then that's gonna be what
So
happens.
it'd be pretty much like right as you reach the door that you start passing the pillar and eyesight's broken and you start hearing the footsteps of stone on stone of him running towards you
Oh boy.
as he has accepted what he believes is a challenge to a duel and it's going to run at you.
Oh,
This is when our second encounter starts.
Oh
this
my
is when I
God.
start to run also.
So yeah, you guys are all like in kind of this doorway area, I guess. He's running at you with a superheated sword.
Quick, lead him to the water.
I regret things.
I mean, if it wasn't a guy made out of stone, that would have been really effective.
Can a plasma blade cut through a single adventure?
And the sheep and him are made out of stone. So, yeah, but no, he's gonna run at you. And the way encounters work is, unless it's an ambush, players go first, because technically he acts off of your failures.
Mhm.
So unless there's specific goals that they've got. So Dan, I'll give it to you first because you're the one that triggered it.
I believe. Oh shit! Oh fuck!
All right.
I'm gonna
And
try
you
to run back the way we came.
Okay. So so you can spend your movement to move a zone or
Mhm.
to like the edge of a zone, and then you can spend your other action of your turn to move out of the zone. If you want to spend both actions to like keep running though, past out of the zone, you have to make a athletics or a dexterity or an athletics test to see if he's able to like take advantage of you just looking.
Acrobatics or athletics, you mean? Or
Yes.
okay.
I forgot to change the name on the sheet. As so acrobatics is supposed to be dexterity.
Okay.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
Because I want on the because I think the character sheet still shows acrobatics, right?
It does.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I meant
go
to
ahead
change that to dexterity. I have that in the guide because I want acrobatics to also cover like fine motor skills too.
like sleight of hand.
So I
and
changed
stuff
it
like
to dexterity. Yeah. It's supposed to be like a catch-all for dexterous things. And it makes more sense because acrobatics kind of implies like stuff you're doing with your body.
No, I think I gotta push
0 successes.
I gotta push that, I think, because there's still a 1 on it. But so I
Yeah,
leave
so you
the
can't-
1
you
and
can't push it.
roll the 6. I can't push it.
Well, you can't push the 1. You
Yeah.
can push the other 6 dice. So
Right.
there's not a good way to do that in roll 20. So just do another check. with
Yeah.
that.
And I
Okay.
assume I
1
take
success.
a damage or a stress.
You take 1 damage because you were evading damage. So you take whatever. If you're making a check to avoid damage, the 1's deal damage. If you're making a check to avoid stress, the 1's deal stress.
Okay.
So
I don't want him to hurt me.
yeah. And so now you only take 1 damage as you're just book it and you're way back down the hallway. Otherwise, he would have been able to catch you. And if you had failed the check entirely, he would have got a die roll against you.
Yes, with
So.
a flaming hot sword.
The superheated katana. Yeah. So no, you're able to successfully evade him on your turn. Jake, what are you doing?
I'm going to use a move action to sort of just kind of turn facing the side and step back so as to give the giant stone sword demon a nice clear line of sight to Dan.
Thanks.
And then I'm going to ready a full action to as the stone monstrosity passes by me, I'm going to try and push him over.
Okay, so you just like try and like force him into the wall or something as
Yeah.
he's
Or into
running.
the water.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
okay.
It's up to
Yeah,
you. Don't push.
we'll do that.
Don't push him towards me.
I'll throw him at you. And
Yeah, so you do that. You
Go get him.
ready. You spend your turn readying, and your trigger is when he runs by you. You
Can I
are
push
going to make a skill check to shove.
Yeah.
Yep. All right,
Gonna nudge
Chuck. What are you doing?
So I need to move to get line of sight, right? So
From where you're at, yeah.
yeah, so like in my many travels, I went to this. They were like, this war thing, and there's this country called Vietnam, and they had these things called landmines where the ground would explode when you walked on it. So I'm just gonna explode the fucking rock ground right underneath this dude.
Okay. Because you're aiming for something that's moving, it's going to be an extra success that you're going to need to pull it off. But yeah, you can
I got
definitely
one.
do that. 1. So it's a partial success.
Can I push that?
You can, yeah.
Okay.
Let's roll 5, or no, roll 4. Because you
Okay.
got a 6 and a 1, you
Yeah.
can't re-roll a 6 with a 1. Yeah,
All right, I got 2 successes
Great.
then, and
2
2 ones.
successes. Yeah, so you're going to take 2 mental damage, and you're going to get to roll 2 d6 against the resolution of this encounter. 8. Because a d6 is the equipment that you're using, so it's 2d6.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 8 points of damage. As this tuft of earth in front of him, you kind of like slip a little bit, and the stress of you having to focus as he's running at
man.
you, and maybe
you
a
hear
little
me
bit of
screaming in the
realization
distance.
as you see the superheated blade that you created.
I'm thinking of my prophecy where like the weed will smoke you, and like
Oh, no.
I know what hot knifing is, man, and that looks like a hot fucking knife.
Yeah, a little bit. So, yes, deals 8 damage to him. And then he does have a deal, so he's going to go. Because there are certain types of enemies or there's certain types of situations where they don't get actions, but in the case of like a boss or someone that has a very specific objective, they get turns. So he
He's coming after my booty.
Mm-hmm.
to Grass, and he is running after Dan, he passes by Jake, who is going to get your trigger. Yep.
Yeah.
So roll a force test.
Alrighty. One success.
One success. I'm going to say you're going to have to push that for it to succeed.
I will do so.
And you'll roll 1, 2,
five.
3, 4 dice. Yep.
Yeah.
4 dice because.
4. I count bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Dang.
So you aren't able to like fully stumble him or get him to crash into the wall.
Instead,
You do
you just
shell him,
accelerate him.
and you don't accelerate him, but you kind of stumble him a little bit, but he is not stopped. But he does get a slash at you because of the failure. So you take 2 physical damage from the push from the ones, and then you're going to take only 3 more physical damage as this superheated knife. Just, I guess, like, because you stumbled him a little bit, he doesn't get a good cut at you. But he does get like a slight, nicks your shoulder or something.
Yeah, I have.
Did you have armor?
Yes, I got myself some heavy leather armor for the re-rolled character. So, and I've also got the callus feat, which provides 1 physical protection.
Okay, great. So you said heavy leather armor.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So heavy leather would be you get 1 physical, or you get 2 physical armor, and leather doesn't grant any resistance, but you have callus, so you get 1. I forgot to change the wording of resistance to protection. It's supposed to be protection. But what that does, since I didn't roll against heavy, normally I would push this roll against heavy and it's doing 2. And that's what it should have done. But because I didn't do that, I'm going to roll 2 more dice. And if they're higher than the 1 and 2, which they almost certainly will be, they're going to get knocked out. So actually, he deals 2 damage to you.
Oh, good.
Because the dice pool was 1, 1, 2, 5. And because you have 2 armor, the top 2 are knocked off.
Nice.
So you take 2 damage, and then you have 1 physical protection. So 1 of that damage is converted to stress, and the other one you take as damage.
Excellent.
Joe, we do have a question from chat.
Okay.
More of a request. Please tell me there will be a candle man in your bestiary.
There definitely will be.
All right, there you go, Adam. There will be a candle man.
This is the truth that we all wanted.
Absolutely.
It's not only in the bestiary, it's one of the magic fallouts. Because fallout in this, if you fall out because of magic, all sorts of weird stuff can happen to you. And one of them is called Candleman, and your skin becomes waxy and you turn into a Candleman. And if it's a major fallout when that happens, you start to die because of it.
Nice.
Oh, man. It's horrifying.
Yes. But it will be fun if that happens.
Nice. Thanks for those bits, Adam.
Yeah, thank you. That's one of the like, magic is very powerful in this, but it's also very risky. And when you start using magic, it opens up an entirely new table of negative fallout that you can take. So in the event that you start taking damage, it's going to hurt you a lot more, both in like debuffs and in just actual pain. And you can be hurt in all sorts of new creative ways. Yeah, so you recorded that damage. The protection should work against the damage you were taking from the push too. So it should have converted that 2 damage you took from the push, 1 of it into stress. Because you had 1 protection.
Well,
Yeah.
that's handy too.
So protection takes incoming damage and turns it into stress at a flat rate, and incoming stress and prevents it outright.
God dang. It's 2 damage, 2 stress. That's not bad.
Because the damage
Yeah.
is harder to get rid of than the stress, right?
Right.
Like-
So the both of them have to fill up to your HP for you to take a fallout. But when you rest, the more damage you take, the less you heal. And you have to heal your stress first. So as you're accumulating damage, your stress gets cleared out much faster, but you may not have any like leftover healing to get to your damage, and it'll just stay and keep building that. So it's long term, it's harder to get rid of damage, and it is worse and worse to have it accumulate. Dan, it's back to your turn.
Would I be able to get out of the water?
Yeah, so you'd be down. That's one more zone away that you're like back in that room, and that's just with a swift action. You could run into the next room as a
Since I'm really smart, I'm just gonna put the thing back in the water.
okay. So you take your rod and you electrified rod and you put it into the water.
Take that,
Give me
guy. I
a
believe it's gonna do something.
right. Give me a flat. What would this be? Go to stats and skills. This would be I could say it's a melee, or you could do it as a wager.
Okay. Let's do that then. I'm only marginally better at that. So, and it's luck, the thing I'm bad at in real life.
Yep.
So it should be more fun. Yay!
Success. Roll a d6 of damage against this.
Nice.
6. That's enough. So you
I'm a
hear,
wizard. It's probably what I'll shout
some
as I put
sizzling.
it into the water.
Yeah. So you shock the water. You hear the sound of stone exploding and then sizzling as his sword lands into the water and starts to steam and cool back down. And
I got him.
Nice.
so, anyone that wants to pick up that sword, it is a D8 katana with the durable tag, meaning that it is much more difficult to damage this item or break it. There's certain Fallout that says like an item in your pack breaks or whatever, and it's immune to that.
Nice.
Cool.
So
I'll definitely undo my magical spell on the water first.
And now we know
Yeah.
that I can superheat your sword to like, yeah, give you like
Yeah.
a fire sword and shit.
Absolutely.
right, because the handle is it is also it is a D8. So yeah, okay. It does take up a D8 encumbrance. A lot of times a sword that deals a D8 damage will be only worth a D6 in space, but because this one is like made out of stone and its sheath and its handle, it does take up a D8 of space in your inventory.
It's heavy.
That's
Yeah, that's your first successful combat.
outstanding.
You continue on into this room. Past this, where the stone statue was kneeling, you see that there is a small tree made out of stone.
Oh, we got scissors.
Yeah.
Is there anything strange about this tree?
So it seems to be like in this little platter, there's this little altar and small platter, small tree. And you look at it kind of closely, you see there's like this one branch kind of just sticking out random. The rest of it looks kind of nice. There's like this one unkept branch.
Do we trim that ugly part?
Wait, what's
Certainly.
going on? Like, there's one fucked up branch. Like, I'll fix that, man.
Oh, I got the little fancy scissors. Remember?
Oh yeah, he did say, okay, go ahead and snip it.
I know it's probably less fun,
Mhm. So you go up to it,
but it's
and
like a
it is
little
stone.
bonsai tree.
And you wouldn't think that you'd be able to cut through solid stone with these clippers, but these effortlessly just glide through. And right as you make that click, the whole tree turns back and grows with life. And you see it gets its green and its brown, and a small little figurine that resembles the person you just fought. And he's standing up holding it as if he should have a sword, but he's not holding it in his hand. He appears underneath the tree. As you do that, each of the pillars light up with torches. And it is kind of getting close to time. Well, but that was the end. So
So we got a bonsai tree and a cool figure.
All right.
yeah, so that would be the next item. So you can, the figure doesn't take up any space, but you can just say it's a small stone figure. And then it is a D4 bonsai tree with expensive 2 as its tag. And which means it is worth 2 die values more in trade. So expensive 2 means a D4 goes from a D6 to a D8 when you go to trade it as a nature resource.
Stop scratching.
And it's got the obvious context of it's got the context of urban and nature.
Oh Jesus, what was that?
For the tree.
Urban and nature. Okay.
Yeah, and then the stone figure has desolate and nature.
All right.
And the stone sword has Warren as its context. The context doesn't matter a whole lot when you go to use the item, but it does matter when you go to sell it. Yeah, that's the last room in this. And you see like the whole thing kind of comes back to life. Some of the cracks in the walls get a little bit like moss growing back in it. And torches light up along all of the hallways. You don't even see like where there were sconces or anything before as you were walking through, but now there are.
Okay.
Neat.
It's like
You walk
magic
back
and
out.
shit.
Mm-hmm. As you leave, the broken statues are all put back in place.
Where's
The hermit crab
going?
is instead this small little crab with a little seashell on its back.
Oh, we
And
taking
it's
him
just
with
kind of
us? There?
scuttering around.
Yeah, man, we're taking that crab with us.
Do you still talk?
Pick up the crab.
Where's this box of dice?
And you do not see any dice.
Dang.
You still have the 1 die in your pocket.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
So you still
Got a
got
pet
that.
crab, an action figure, and a tree.
Yeah,
Very
you know
cool.
what? We can put almost all these in like a little habitat for him, like the little statue, the little
that'd be
hermit
neat.
crab.
Joe was
And
just setting us up for a pet.
Yeah, that's actually what
Good.
this adventure was for.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we
You
should
walk
name
back
him
out.
Dice.
Dice the hermit crab.
Seems like there's a little bit more life in the town. Seems to be a little bit more cleaned up. And as you're walking out, you don't really see any people, but you swear you saw some like ghostly figures just walk around the corners and hide out of sight.
We're good guys, I think.
I think so.
Go us.
We're
That's
awesome.
the dead end of that. You've rid the statue spirits, and you're able to return back to town. Tell Amelia that nothing dangerous is going to come out of that place. Killed all the things that were, and you've got some items. If you were to like go into the campaign, you'd be able to trade these in for cool stuff.
It might even be a cool place to live.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it
Close.
is. It is like I mean, all the buildings were pretty much intact, And the trench isn't in a particularly dangerous part where the door was, so it wouldn't necessarily be a bad place to establish a new settlement.
Nice.
You can name it after us.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's good news there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first dungeon of Anvea that you guys have played through.
Hooray.
All right. I'm digging it so far. I'm looking forward to the campaign.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm there's a few things I want to tweak a little bit, but
Yeah.
for the most part, it's playing pretty close to how I'm wanting it to.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you don't have to do encounters as combat.
Yeah.
That really any skill check or any spell
Yeah.
applies to the combat.
Yeah. I like the free form of it. Lets us just be creative and roll some dice and
Yeah,
let our stupidity just lead us to success.
which is, I mean, it's like kind of how we played anyways, but now we have like mechanical benefit
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
some of the stuff.
Yeah.
as it
To
happens.
tasting things.
Yeah. And I also like too that there's degrees of success and failure. So like
Yeah.
if you fail, you can have a little bit more to go off of to come up with a narrative reason as to why it failed or how it succeeded. Or
Blowing
there's like
the
something
door
that shouldn't
apart.
work.
Yeah. Blowing the door apart, it technically worked, but it also didn't work.
Yeah.
You know,
It was fun.
Dealing D6 damage of what was it? The door
Right.
that did the D6 damage of
Yeah.
debris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You got blasted by
I did. It was fantastic.
I mean, it worked. It maybe just worked not
right.
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
we thought.
There's never going to be a time that you know what you have to do to progress the story or your objective, and you make a roll and you don't progress it. You're always going to be forwarding your goal. It's just you're rolling to see if it hurts you or not.
Yeah.
And that's the whole concept this game is built around.
I like it.
You get to do that however you want. So
Neat.
yeah.
Then when you get this further along, we'll have to figure out how to turn it, slap some shadow run on it, and we'll be set.
Yeah.
It'll be the next new adaptation.
Right.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be too hard to like flavor contexts for the world. Like if you wanted to run this setting in a different setting, or if you want to run this game in a different setting entirely, you could just add a different one for like, you could add to your context and make new ones for like computers or something.
I would just maybe swap out Desolate
Maybe
and
some of
Occult,
this-
and we'd be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
Honestly,
doing it
a
though.
lot
We're
of it's-
running Shadowrun with the year zero engine. I'm not changing it now. We're too close.
Right. Yeah. It's not far enough along to do that for next week. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that it's pretty free form for the most part. So
Right.
Yeah, I do too. I had a lot of fun, Joe. You're doing great work on this.
Thanks. Appreciate it. I appreciate you guys playing this playtest.
Yeah. It sounds like
thanks for
Adam's
everyone for
kind of
watching,
jealous.
too.
We'll have to drag Adam in on a playtest at some point.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep running playtests while I want to try and schedule some while we're doing Chuck's game on
Mhm.
like Saturdays or something.
Yeah.
Or whenever it's open.
Yeah.
Because my goal is to get this refined to the point where I can run a full campaign of it after Chuck's Shadowrun game.
Yeah.
I know Eddie wants to play a few of these, and he's not going to be doing the Fridays anymore. So he's going to be wanting to play in some. And
Some playtests here and there. Cool.
yeah, I want to use the sparking fork more and pretend I'm a wizard.
yeah,
Yeah. When we go to campaign, fucking Kozel's coming along. So
yeah, you can do that. I don't know if he'll keep any of his like stuff. We're probably
It's
going to start
fine.
back over at level 0.
yeah,
but,
it's fine. Just the personality will be there. You know what you're in for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like playing the not so smart ranger.
I'm really good at playing stupid creatures or stupid characters, and I think that just says something more about me than anything else. But
I know. My problem is I need to come up with less quality plans, I think.
yeah, just go with the dumb.
yeah.
I
And
can,
really like it's it's some free form to the point where like the part where you did a ranged attack to see the leeches. It's like most of the scenarios you put in, you're encouraged to use skills in a way like that where you you might not have anything that would standardly work in that situation in a different game, but this one's like, if you're doing it and you can argue, yeah, it was arranged because I'm throwing it and I'm trying to hit a particular location, that still works as ranged. You can do it as that. So
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Okay, we signing off?
I think so. What else do we got running? I think so. Next Friday is your...
Yeah. Well, let's start off with Saturday. That's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central. We're continuing Forbidden Lands. The end of the campaign is drawing near. I don't know how many more sessions we have, but it's coming to a close. We got an end goal in sight. We're hitting there. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do in that time slot after Forbidden Lands, because that's a great time to get Adam and Jen in on a game where we can play with them, and it's fantastic getting to play with them. So, but anyway, Forbidden Lands tomorrow at 1. Nothing tomorrow night. The Darkest House won't be back for, I think it's sometime in December, maybe. Then Sunday, Jake and I will be hanging out over with Bert on, let me put the link there, twitch.tv/SteamSteelMurder for some Shadowrun using the One Roll engine. Monday night is Alien. I'll be the only one from this crew that's over there. This coming Wednesday, back here on DOK, we're continuing Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I don't even remember what the fuck we got going there. Everything's going crazy. It's amazing.
We were gonna go fight some liches or something.
Oh, yeah, you're going after the undead. Okay, yeah. You're in the sewers tracking down zombies. It's great. Then Friday, like Joe mentioned, the day after Thanksgiving, we're going to be kicking off a brand new Shadowrun campaign using the Year Zero engine. We've got all of our meta types and all of our professions picked out, so it's just assembling characters and launching it off on this Friday, and we'll be running that for, I don't know, a good number of months, and then eventually, once we get a satisfying conclusion, Joe will pick back up, and hopefully he'll be ready to run us through an Anvea campaign, so it'll be great. And I think that's it. Next Saturday, we're back on Goodman Games. Fucking hell. Like, we got a fucking week. Follow us on Twitter.
I think this Monday is
it
Monday...
UVG? Let me check my calendar. I can never fucking remember.
I think this Monday is UVG, because I think this
You're right.
Monday was
Wait. Yeah, you're right. My bad. So yeah, Joe, Dan, and I will be on the Lollygaggers this Monday for UVG. Where I play a blue snot ghost, Joe plays a muscle wizard, and Dan plays a dude in a spacesuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
That's great.
All right.
I don't fucking know.
Well, cool.
I ain't got anything else. I'm very inebriated. So
excited about this game. Thanks for playing again. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah.
And tune into all of those or any of those things that we're doing.
There you go.
Love them.
Have a good night, everyone.
Goodbye.
Take care.